Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We've got the third season of the College Chess Podcast. My name's Joe. I'm the commissioner and founder of the Collegiate Chess League, and I'm joined once again by my trusty host, Max.
What's
Welcome
up, Joe?
back.
So happy to be back.
Yeah, it's been a while. Our season starts very soon, and an update with you. You're on the community team now, right?
Yeah. So not on the college team as directly anymore, but you can't keep me away from this podcast. So I'm staying on. Um, you're you're still connected to college. CCL is about to be kicking off the spring season, so it's gonna be
Yeah.
hype.
And I'm joining back on the ambassador program team with leading communications and outreach, recruitment, growth strategy, all that good stuff. So um, we still have Mauricio and Xander leading the way for the college ambassador program, and we're going to have some exciting updates from them. But for now, we're mainly talking about the CCL, college chess in general. Maybe we'll talk a little about college sports. I know it's been kind of an exciting time of the year, and we're gonna get to some ambassador games that they won a review from last semester. So there's about 5 games, and they're very exciting. I've taken a quick peek at some of them. I think this is gonna be Max's first time seeing them.
Yeah, I
Uh,
haven't seen him, so I'm excited to see what kind of craziness people are getting into.
Yeah, normally on broadcast we're covering like live games from matches, a lot of times from Division One. So these are games of all different skill levels. They're going to be very exciting. And I would say just really quickly before we get into them, update on the Collegiate Chess League. We have the deadline extended to Sunday, January 14th. That's this weekend. That's in like 2 days.
2 days.
So get those registrations in. Um, if you want, we can link the article in the chat. It's also in our Discord, so definitely recommend you join the Discord.
Yeah, there you go. The Discord's the best place.
All right, so Max, you ready to dive into these chess games?
Yeah, I'm ready to talk some chess. We were just talking about the Puzzle World Championship uh that's going on right now. So I'm excited. I got my thinking cap on when it comes to some chess.
Nice.
Uh Even though I've been having a rough go at it in Blitz the last couple of days. But maybe this
Oh,
will make me feel a little better.
I had a really rough Blitz stream last night myself, so I totally get it. But enough of that. Enough about ourselves. Let's actually reveal we have a new template for the new season and a new color scheme. So check out
Ooh,
this
color
chess scene
reveal.
we got. Nice. All right. So, and with that, we have our first game of the day. This is from Michael O'Donnell from Fordham University. Um, he's playing against a candidate master, Robert Olson. He's about 1800, Michael himself, and we start off with e4.
You got to feel some nerves here too. You're playing a titled player almost like 150 rating points above you. That's no joke.
Yeah,
I would be a little nervous. I'd be a little stressed. Or maybe you just like play without stress because you're like, what's the worst that's gonna happen here? I'm not losing. You're probably losing what, like 1, 2 rating points from this if you lose.
yeah, but
So
Mike's also the ambassador, right? He's got a reputation. He's got his
yeah, that's true.
university representation on the line. Uh, Nerves of steel, perhaps. No fear. He's got the white pieces too, which is definitely a huge help. Um,
The game was 90 plus 30. Oh snap. Okay, so you had time to be in the tank. I hear it.
yeah, he's got time. It's classical. That plus 30 is really helpful as well once you get down to the time scramble. And he's been given the center. He's got e4, d4, um, kind of a Vienna setup with knight to c3, black castles, fianchettos. And now right away, Mike's showing some aggression here with e5. This is kind of a risky idea in general when your king hasn't castled yet. Like knight to f3 is definitely a more common idea.
Yeah, and the king hasn't castled and the knight hasn't moved yet, so you're 2 moves away essentially.
Exactly. So, but he's striking first. E5. This knight's going to have to move. And so the knight moves back immediately. instead of taking first. We see now the knight comes out, offers some more support. Knight
I guess,
develops.
yeah, shoving the pawn. That's what I was thinking. Like, why not shove this pawn down?
Yeah, e6. This is really aggressive, really nice. Going to weaken the king side, targeting f7. We see a capture and a trade. King goes to the corner, and now white, I believe, is trying to get in here.
Yeah, the knights are dancing. They look like they're ready.
Yeah. So notice he could have gone here immediately, but this would allow black to take with tempo. So
And they're
we
attacking the fork too. There, that would have been. It could have been bad.
exactly. That's a good spot. So we're bringing the second knight in here. And this is a gambit of a pawn, right? Black has two attackers, only one defender. Um, Maybe even a rook sacrifice, which is
That's what
exactly
I was
what we
thinking.
see.
Yeah.
Look at
Oh
that.
man.
So the candidate master getting spicy, saying, "Hey, you haven't castled. You've got this weak pawn here. I'm not gonna let all your knights get in."
Yeah,
So
the potentials. It's scary right now.
yeah, look at this. We've got all
Like,
these pawns hanging out. The queen is hit. So where would you move the queen here, Max?
I mean, I feel like, wow, you're in the danger zone here.
Let me turn on the eval bar too, actually.
Well, don't show me the lines because then I'll
You
have a
don't want
good
to see the
idea of what to
lines? All
do.
right. So no lines. So right now, probably we got to bring the queen back somewhere, right?
Yeah, it feels like Queen C4. Yeah, because then you're defending your fork and the queen, but you're dropping F3 with check, which seems kind of scary. I don't know.
So uh, queen h3, double brilliancy, double exclam here. Only
What?
move to maintain a material
I gotta even.
advantage.
I don't really understand it yet. I guess you're gonna threaten checkmate with knight G5. Is that the idea?
That is perhaps one idea. There's
Because like
also,
I'm like,
don't forget, there's knight fork too,
oh
right?
yeah, okay, okay,
Yeah, so
that's
knight
crazy. I don't think
c2,
I would.
king d1. There's no time to take the rook because knight to g5 wins immediately on the spot.
Too many threats. Yeah, you're threatening the fork and, yeah.
Yeah, so this is really, really a beautiful move here. That's why it deserves the brilliancy, double exclam.
Wow.
So,
I didn't. I mean, I was completely oblivious. I don't know if I would have even had thought of it in classical.
yeah, so knight to f6 defends the mate. So now knight to g5 allows black to defend the fork, right?
Yeah,
So king d1. This is holding on to the c pawn, making sure
gotta
we're not
defend
getting
the pawn.
forked. The queen moves. The bishop develops with tempo. Knight comes back. And now we trade the knight. Bishop takes. Queen steps up, probably to make way for the h pawn.
Yeah,
So our
that
king
king's in the
not
middle. Yeah.
castling. Yeah, king in the center of the board, giving up our a pawn, but now there goes the h pawn.
Yeah,
So
it feels like you got to barrel through somehow on this king side, but there's some pieces back for defense.
yeah, and this is looking kind of risky for black, right? If the pawn were to take, well, we can take the knight actually,
Yeah.
and we're threatening to simply take. The pawn can't take because it's pinned by the rook, and if rook takes, we have queen takes, threatening mate and the knight. And again, that pawn is pinned by our rook. So what does black do? They take because it's with tempo, but now we don't care.
Yeah, screw the
Botez
queen.
gambit.
I mean, you're threatening mate. No, yeah. So,
Rook takes is mate. Rook takes
and
another
then queen
inaccuracy.
takes. No,
Queen
yep.
takes, and there's really no defense here. You got to bring the queen back. Okay, check first. There goes the knight. Another check. King back. And um, what's happening
Now you
here? If you, well, what's happening after this?
you return and then
I think you're just up two rooks versus a bishop.
yeah,
So
you just trade and win. Yeah.
yeah, so game ended. This is resignation. But brilliant, brilliant game. I mean, we see starting with Queen H3,
Yeah, opponent played really well
understanding
too.
the knight fork is
Yeah, even
brilliant.
before Queen H3, the opponent's rook sack was quality, and then to essentially you are like pushed down this one road here, and you had this was the one move to survive.
Yeah,
which is quite a hole to be in, but
no
drag
time to
yourself out of.
take. Yeah, and then the finish here with the queen sacrifice,
So
h4,
nice.
h5, knight takes blunder, allowing for this tactic h takes g. That's basically GG.
Yeah.
So yeah, props to Mike. Thanks for sharing that game, and I'm glad that we could review it for him. And we have a couple more games. Next up, we have Aaron Moon from Liberty University, also known as the Moon Warrior, representing Fiji on chess.com.
Yeah, big chess nation, Fiji.
Yeah, so 2200 versus FM Larry, who doesn't have a title on chess.com.
Not an FM, but maybe is aspiring to be one.
Yeah, so this is 10-minute rapid game, no increment.
Okay, we get our clocks here so we can see kind of how long people are thinking. Wait, here, take the lines off, would you? On our side.
We've
I want
got
to I want to try and figure it out myself.
yeah, we've got another e4 and knight to c3. So Vienna here from white, although black is playing e5. So more um, contesting the center. Bishop out before we close the pawn chain. Knight going after this bishop on c5. We take
Yeah,
that.
the bishop pair.
Yeah, double pawns for black, but an open a file for the rook. h3, just taking away g4. Bishop offers a trade. We accept. So two sets of double pawns for black.
They're not the worst though. I like those center. I get those center double pawns sometimes in these
Yeah,
kinds of structured, and I like it. I mean, they create a real mass. You're defending a lot of squares.
and when
Yeah,
you castle, the rook is already on a semi-open file as well.
exactly. So the double pawns, double-edged sword here.
Yep. And we see queen showing we don't want the knight to trade off on h5 and invite the queen in. So queen also wants to just get opposite the king. So this is a good place to develop the queen. Bishop develops. Now we're seeing the rooks potentially double.
Yeah, looks
But
like you wanted that.
first, you got to guard this pawn. So that's why we see the knight go back to d7. This is
Wow,
an
knight getting
interesting
out of the way.
reroute. Yeah, knight right in the corner. Perhaps the worst square to be on the board.
As a knight,
Yeah,
too. You're
but
on the you're on the room twice, and also now the queen is fully opened up against the king. I mean, it's not like there's an instant threat, but I don't know. Feels a little scary to me.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out. We'll see what the plan is here. So, okay, we wanted f3, and the knight would have been hanging there.
Hanging, yeah.
So the
But
knight's going to reroute.
playing f3 seems scary.
Oh,
But
king
I
up.
guess you're blunting those stacked rooks.
Yeah, perhaps when white plays a move like c3, not only is it to get the queen out, but we're also trying to prepare for d4. But the problem is our e pawn is hanging. Not right now because it's defended by the knight, but once the
Could
queen
have
gets
been.
here, there's also pressure on this pawn, so we can't push in the center yet. So that's perhaps why we want to get the move f3 in.
Yeah, now both kings on the H file. And
Yeah,
finally somebody's breaking through.
yeah. Black hits first, d5 on the board, and white simply ignores it, tries to open up for this rook in the corner that hasn't been playing.
Yeah.
So we see some activity. The knight hits the rook. Also notice this rook's defending this pawn now that the b file is kind of opened up. So white's going after it even further. Black says, well, let me attack your bishop. Notice we're not taking here, Max.
Yeah, you want to leave that B pawn all alone over there. You're ruining your pawn train a little bit. No? Or there's something
There's
worse.
this,
Oh,
but
the
also
fork.
we don't want to undouble the pawns. Yeah, there's knight
Yeah.
takes. We would have to give up our bishop. So we're gonna simply tuck our bishop back and maintain this pressure in the center. Pawn push. Now this rook is actually short on squares, but this also weakens this knight
Knight.
here. So okay, queen up. This is actually coming with a threat, perhaps to well win this pawn. Well, not win it, but
Yeah.
this knight's pinned. Notice when the b pawn pushed, this knight's now hanging.
Yeah,
So
open. Take with
yeah,
the bishop. Interesting.
you can
Why
see
not with the pawn? I don't know.
black is starting to feel some pressure. They're releasing some tension, but this is going to be really helpful for white in the long run. These pawns are sitting ducks, doubled and isolated.
Yeah.
But this frees up this square for the knight, and now the rook has to move.
You could
But
win a pawn. Yeah,
no,
are we gonna win
okay.
this pawn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
white wins the pawn that you pointed out. The rooks are infiltrating. See, now the knight
There's that
gets
pin in
take.
a different situation, but
Yep,
still a
and
pin.
now there goes this pawn. Everything's falling. So really nice play here by Aaron to make sure that things were kind of locked up on the king side, and then focus the attention a4, a5, right? Moving
Yeah,
to the queen side, breaking through, and now up 3 pawns.
three healthy pawns, but it's really the yeah. Now he's got two passers, so
Oh, but
oh,
hold
some
on, hold
mistakes
on.
being made here. Yeah, some mistakes being made
We
here. I don't know
drop our
what.
D pawn.
Oh,
Notice
yep.
now the clock's about a minute and a half each. We're kind of getting into a bullet game territory here. I was
This,
thinking maybe, okay, our knight's pinned, so this is a big threat actually for black.
yeah, and you can't move
Notice
the king because the knight hangs.
exactly. So this is significant pressure. If we push the pawn to stop them, well, they simply take and then win the knight anyways. So
Exactly.
queen
That's
here, pawn here, check,
yep.
bringing the
Now you
queen
can,
back for defense. So we're down a knight for four
but
pawns.
you've got pawns. That pawn on the b file though looks alone over there. Yeah, it's gone.
Okay,
You
so now
want to trade
it's
the
three
queen.
pawns versus a knight. Uh-oh,
Yep.
some checks, but the king is getting up.
Only 20 seconds on the clock
Uh-oh.
here. I don't know. Oh, you don't take it. He
Wait.
doesn't.
Oh,
Knight.
he forces the queen trade. And now the
There it is.
knight, perhaps the worst piece to stop
To
the
stop.
promoting pawns. There's a queen on
Yep.
the board. No forks.
9 seconds to get
Oh,
it
he
done.
sacks the knight for the. He sacks the
He's
queen.
actually
He
because
says,
he's
"I
only got
don't want
seven
the tricky
seconds.
knight." I would have
No.
taken the pawn first,
Yeah, for sure. Take the pawn first. But
but he wins the pawn anyways. He's got the two
oh
pawn.
man.
Does he give the mate? You
Oh
think he can do
man.
it? Oh, gotta watch out. Don't
Two
play king
seconds
f. You
left,
think he
dude.
plays king f6?
Dude, there's
He's
no
got to
way.
go. He's got to go d6.
2 seconds left. I say he probably. Yep. No. No. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, there's no increment. You know his hand's shaking a little bit in that moment, and you just make this mistake. Oh my goodness.
Well, it was a good game. In-game technique, a little questionable. Ends in a stalemates. But yeah, good game
Dude, I've done
nonetheless.
something like that before, man. It happens.
Yeah,
You're
it's
get
tough.
you only got 2 seconds left, no increment. You know you got to move. Ugh,
So yeah,
so
once again,
brutal.
Liberty University. This is Iron Moon, and we're moving on to the next game. This next game we have representing one of our international universities, University of New South Wales. This is Ambassador. Well, actually, this is submitted from Nathan Lai, but I believe this isn't Nathan's game. This is a game submitted by their club. So
Oh,
perhaps their entire club is tuning in. Shout out to them. All right. So let's see how this game goes. This
no
is
way, Mike. That's crazy.
two players below 1,000. So this might be kind of like Division 20 plus territory.
Okay, below 1,000, 3 plus 2. It
Yeah.
looks like.
And let's see how this turns out. So E4 and D4 for white. And we have a perk defense.
I
See
thought it
some
was a Pierce.
Pierce perk. Yeah. Tomato, tomato, right?
Yeah, I guess we argue with some chess scholars on that one. All right, this is all pretty standard. Look, maybe 900, but looking like some pretty standard stuff here.
Yeah,
Nothing
this
blundered
this
yet.
could be some GM quality. Although, okay, knight here, maybe I would develop the bishop.
Develop the bishop.
But wanted the c pawn in there.
I get it. The mindset there is to clog up the long diagonal. Oh, now you open it a little bit.
Yeah, I would maybe go queen to d2, probably then king here.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, attacking the knight. Knight goes in the center, attacking the bishop. So black
You,
could take, decides to play c6 instead, and trades off knight for knight, so not taking the bishop.
that makes. I mean, as somebody that plays at the lower level, sometimes I could argue that the knights are trickier and more difficult to deal with than the bishops.
As a
So,
fellow,
as a fellow blunderer, you have to understand that there's nothing
yeah,
like saving a game with a knight fork.
yeah, and
Less likely with the bishops.
here when we take this pawn, notice now Black's rook opens up. So
Mm-hmm.
the B pawn is hanging. Knight here tries to defend, and that's another reason why Black were to trade the knight because
Yep, get the free
Black wins
pawn
the pawn. But okay, White gets another pawn, so ties it back up. Pressure on this pawn, so the queen steps up.
to
Uh,
defend. Yep.
but now, Max, I don't know if you see, there's this tricky tactic, perhaps.
I don't see it. Something to do with this rook. That was. It feels like it should have to deal with this rook since it's alone over there.
I feel that we could get our bishop
Oh yeah, I
here.
see. Yeah, yeah. So e5 and then knights hit e5,
Yeah,
but then you play knight d5 to block again.
exactly. So it's very interesting. I wonder if the line likes my move. Yeah,
Yeah,
e5, knight d5. Oh, and then e6 is very
e6. Yeah,
interesting. It once queen takes. That's sharp.
yeah. That's tough. That's tough to see, but I guess you probably could.
All right, so not played. Instead, we're pushing our pass pawn, a4, which makes a lot of sense. And there's
Okay,
that
gotta
rook you're talking
defend.
about.
You got two isolated pawns here, though. I'm a little worried about losing them.
Yeah, I think this rook should be able to be defended, and plus, if we can get to a7, supported by the
Yeah.
bishop, that'd be really nice. Although c5 cuts it off, but that also opens up for our bishop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's these
Those two
bishops are
bishops.
good.
I was hating on bishops, but especially if the position opens up like this, they get
Yeah,
dangerous fast.
yeah, especially if they can help push this pawn through. So knight comes back, rook offers a trade. We take with the rook. I was thinking maybe a queen takes, but rook takes. Maybe looking to get here
Yeah.
actually
It's
is
hard
even
to
better.
yeah, it's hard to go backwards with your queen sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah,
rook back to defend the pawn.
and now we see a push.
Okay, but now, yep, it's not happy with
It wanted
yeah, you want
c4. That's wild. Sack this for this.
screw the rook because you take the knight. But then I don't even understand that. You take the knight. I guess it makes some sense. It
Because
just
your
really
your
loves bishops.
bishops are gonna you're
Yeah,
gonna get the rook back.
computers love bishops.
Okay, what's wrong with this
Uh-oh.
move?
I
You
mean the
see it?
fork. Yeah, fork.
Knight fork.
Fork territory.
Only one exclamation point for this.
I mean that's not that crazy.
But
Oh, and
uh-oh.
then now why doesn't it like this? Because of e5 probably.
Probably would open up the bishop,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there we go.
Yep,
So
e5 is here.
blunder in exchange one way, blundering it back. Queen
That
steps
seems
up.
pretty on brand. I mean, black is still up, material, but white is significantly winning on the board.
White has the better quality pawns.
Mm-hmm.
So Chaco, this is a game review from one of our ambassadors that submitted, Nathan Lai. This is one of the prizes last semester, and the ambassador program is going to have more prizes and activations this semester. So if you're interested in that, you got to definitely stay tuned. But shout out to Chaco, one of our former podcast guests. Same with Brody, who was in chat earlier. Always love to see them tuning
Yeah.
in. But
Shout out,
notice
Brody.
these players are kind of playing off the increment, 20 seconds to 15 seconds. Blunders are about to happen, and we see now White perhaps could break
Oh
through,
man,
but now maybe not.
there's just so
But
many pawns now.
hold
White, yeah,
on,
white.
maybe there's like some perpetual. The queen. Oh, oh,
Uh-oh, because now you're queening, right?
yeah, because now the
Because the
pawn
pawn
can't
can't, yeah.
step up. I think, but nope.
But that's kind of difficult for the 900s to see with
Do you
14
see?
seconds left.
Do you see all the color here, Max, on
Oh
the
my
move?
goodness. Oh my God, we got a ways to go. Oh yeah, it's 3+2. So here we go. Huge blunder, huge blunder. Back to back huge blunders.
There it
There you go.
is.
We finally got the queen
All
down
right,
there.
with the fork too.
With a fork. So takes and takes. Now you're completely winning. But there's a lot of
Oh,
pawns.
do you see a good move here, Max?
I see checkmate. Queen e4.
Maiden one's pretty nice. There's a mate in
Yeah.
two here. Queen check
It's
and
crazy
mate.
that those pawns on d6 and f6 are blocking the king's two escape squares when the queen comes to e4.
Yeah,
That's great.
the queen here instead. We lose our bishop.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
There you
do you
go. That's
see another good move here, Max?
yeah, that was the mate. I saw it.
We see mate here
Same
and a mate here.
same mate. Yeah, I was gonna say E4
There's also
again,
this one still.
but that's only found part of the way there because he's gonna go to. He can go to E3 too, right? E3 works.
Even taking this pawn as mate.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's crazy. Like there are at least three mates there. How do you not do one of them instinctually? They check.
Okay, but hey,
Oh
we
my
won a
god.
pawn. We
Okay,
won
you
a
got a
pawn.
pawn, two pawns.
We're
You
gonna lose
lost the
this
pawn.
one
Now you're
though.
gonna lose this
It's
pawn.
a bishop and three pawns versus a queen.
Oh man. Okay. The bishop. That's the nice thing about a bishop is that when you have it on a square like it is now, it's never gonna be in a bad place. Oh my goodness.
So it's up to the king and the queen to work together, right? Maybe
Yeah.
king here was a strong idea.
Yeah. Block the king off from. Okay, you're still infiltrating. You can't lose the queen in any way though because you have no other pawns left.
Oh,
Oh man. Okay. Yep. Now we got mate on the board, but is it gonna be found? It could. Yeah. Now's the time. Finally, 70 moves in. GG.
king here. And yeah, white's mate is unstoppable. Although perhaps we're not sure if it would have been played or not.
No, I have to. I think that's the most recognizable pattern in the world.
All right. So yeah, that was a wild roller coaster of a game. So thanks. Shout out to University of New South Wales submitting that one.
I love 900 level play
Yep.
as a, enjoyer myself, as a patron myself.
Now we're moving on to Breon McCrae III from Hampton University.
A shout out from
All
the
right.
Detroit area, just like
And
me.
is that so?
Michigan. Yeah, Michigan won the national title. Shout out Michigan.
Go
The
Blue.
Lions play in the playoffs this Sunday. Shout out the Lions. So big ups with the state of Michigan.
All right. So we've got back in the States, Hampton University here against Canadian, 400 rating higher.
400 rating points higher, 5+2. It looks like.
Is that Breon in the chat with a 313?
What up, 313? Shout out. Yep, that's
Yeah,
the area code.
I'm from St. Louis. We're 314,
Wow.
which is pi. So and shout out to
yeah,
Max.
also my birthday.
His
out.
birthday, exactly. Dude, Breon, I'm glad you're on Twitch because I've been trying to reach out to you, man.
You said.
All right, loves the arch. Awesome, yeah. All right, so we've got a Caro Khan. Wait, no, this is like D4. This is a D4 version of Caro Khan, maybe.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
This is a Benoni. No, that's what the computer's saying. Old Benoni.
old but no.
I need to
Well,
learn
now
my
it's saying
theory.
Karo Khan defensive.
Well,
English version.
okay. So trade of the dark square bishops.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
getting
It's
ready
pretty
to
standard
castle.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to develop these
Develop
pieces
knight.
over here.
Okay,
Oh,
I've seen
Breon,
this
I
before.
hope you're doing well, man. Sorry to hear that. Get better soon.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully all's good, man.
But glad he's tuning in for his own
Nah,
game
it's okay.
review.
Shout
That's
out.
huge.
You gotta tune in for this. You gotta tune in for the game.
He's
Why not?
repping. This is his game. Perhaps his
You're all good,
masterpiece.
bro.
We're gonna find out. All right.
Okay, this happens to me all the time. People love shoving the pawns down in front of my king, and I feel like there's some holes created, especially on like G6. Oh my god, put a knight there, and
Yeah.
it's never getting
look at
kicked out.
F4.
Yeah,
Now that
huge
this
holes
pawn has been pushed.
on both sides, big holes, but the white king not castled, and I think that's why the advantage is a little bit to black. But yeah, that seems like a nice move. Hard to see.
Develop. Knight
Yeah,
back.
develop.
That drops this with tempo on the queen.
Yeah,
Look at that.
he
And
sees that.
the queen's got to guard this fork too, right?
So gotta go back to D1. A bit of a sad
Yep.
square to go to.
Now the queen dives in, attacking
Uh-oh.
these weaknesses that you mentioned.
Oh
Here,
man.
offering a trade. We have a check. It's
Yeah,
been
that
played.
check's nasty.
King up.
You could play
Take
check.
now. Knight here. Rook pin. Breon's
Yeah, all
taking
of a
it to the
sudden.
1400, man. With the black pieces.
With the black pieces and this E5 is coming.
Bishop
scared
comes
of
out,
E5.
but say goodbye to the knight.
Yeah, E5, right? Well, you
Just
take
taking.
with the check.
Taking with
yeah, now
check.
you're-
King
Sheesh.
comes back. Pawn pushing. He's threatening
Ooh,
mate.
yeah, mate is more fun than a discovery on the queen. So queen,
Oh no,
oh, that's a wrap. GG
dude.
immediately.
Brian cooked today.
Dude, in 2 minutes flat, 400 rating points higher.
Yeah,
That's nasty.
this was a five
15
plus.
rating points.
Was this in
That's
the
quality.
collegiate chess league? Was this a CCL match? Because this 5+2 time control, so it very well could be.
Dude, black is your favorite, man. I'm always blundering with black. I swear. Yeah, was it CCL?
That would be fresh if that was
It
live
was,
in
yeah.
match.
Shout out
Wow.
CCL
So
in match against the 1400.
yeah, that's huge. Did you guys win this game or match or no? This is U.S. versus Canada. I don't know which school. I could probably look it up, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is beautiful. 5+2. You guys both have 3 minutes to spare. So
Sounds like the lower rating is a little bit.
nice. Yeah, Breon, big part of the win there, and not sure
I
if
like that. Yeah, I like that E3 move to essentially
no,
put him on the clock.
every move in this game was with purpose, with threats, with attacks, and White just couldn't hang. So
How many? Yeah, how many moves was this? 20 some? 20?
this is only
20?
21 moves, short and sweet, almost a
Quick.
miniature.
Uh-huh. Nasty, honestly.
Yeah. So thank you to Breon, and again, hope you get better soon, and hope to see your team and you compete, if not this
In
season, at
CCL.
least in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Um,
still got January 14th is the deadline. We should be saying it after every game.
well, we only have one game left. This is from Washington State University, Brian Lee with the white pieces
Shout out.
playing D4. And we have a Queen's Gambit declined, transposed.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, standard stuff. Greek,
Not quite, not
not
quite. The
yet, not
knight's
yet.
there.
So let's
Um,
get rid of it. That's my next thought.
it's your next. Hold on. What's going on
Yeah,
here?
there's a fork here. Hello?
Yeah, we're going after the bishop and allowing a fork. So bishop tucks back. Now we got to
Because
deal
the
with
fork's
this.
still coming in. So take.
Pawn takes. Now black's got that IQP.
Mm-hmm. Which I hate. I don't see how it's good, but
Yeah, we'll
some people
see.
say it's
We'll see
fine.
how black copes with this. But yeah, Breon, no pressure, man. But appreciate you. I'm glad that you could tune in, and thanks for sharing your game. Okay, so we see the trades in the center. Knight comes
All
back. Now the
right.
knight goes right in front of this isolated pawn. Now black can return the favor and
Yep.
give white the
I would do it in a
IQP.
heartbeat, honestly.
Well, you have to see that you're giving up a bishop for a knight. You're leaving white with
Two
the bishop
bishops.
pair, and you're opening up this diagonal for
It's
white.
quite an open position too, I guess. You're right.
So
So
instead, leaving it, developing the bishop, getting the rook opposite. Meanwhile, white gets
stopping it.
their bishop on the long diagonal.
Pinning yourself a little bit, but not that dangerous right
Yeah.
now.
So see how now the bishop is on a different diagonal. Now black takes, and now we're forced to take with the pawn because the rook is pinning our bishop. So
Yeah.
now instead of the
Bishop's
bishop
like a
being
pawn
here,
almost. Yeah.
now our bishop's behind our pawn, and now is a good time that we both have isolated queen pawns. So I like how black's playing this. We see a rook develop. Yeah, queen develops, offering a bishop trade. We decline that with tempo on the rook.
Okay, we still want the trade.
Yeah, black insists. Oh, white says
A
no
little
thanks. Maybe
repetition.
yeah, maybe a little draw for here, but no. Black continues on, and now F3. How do we feel about
Interesting.
that?
Well, I get it, right? You wanna discourage the knight from ever getting to E4, which seems like a nice little location to hang out. But you're opening up. Yeah, I guess if you play H3, which is the classic move, you're not really doing that much to prevent knight E4 eventually. I mean, right now it's not that possible, but
Yeah, that's very interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't love the fact that the queen is now keeping its eyes on that D4 pawn, which is pinned.
So we trade rooks, trade both
More rook
sets of
trades.
rooks. Queen over,
Yeah, threatening check.
offering
Well, yeah,
queen trade. So these players get everything off the board.
yeah,
And white says, "Give me this end game with the two bishops and IQP. Let's see
yeah. You
how
got
you
to
convert."
This is difficult. I mean, this could be a long, grueling game. Do you know what the time control was for this?
Um, I am not sure. Hold on, I can actually probably check.
But yeah, this is quite a grueling end game here.
So this was OTB back in 2022 against the 2200, and he was
Hmm.
1881 USCF at the time.
Not weak, that's for sure. That's for sure. So the two bishops, yeah, here we go. Let's see.
All right, so again, we see a
Ooh,
pawn push boxing out the knight, and we see the knight on the edge of the board here. Pressure on the pawn.
it's always cool to see a bishop on the opposite side, back rank.
Yeah, and notice we never took this pawn. We didn't want to get trapped.
Yeah. Now all the
Okay,
pawns are defended for black.
centralize the king, bringing the bishop back into the game. Now look how
Yeah,
bad this bishop is, right?
horrendous.
See how white's putting pawns on dark squares to force black's pawns on light squares, right? And same with the bishop move, putting pressure on the. That's why the dark square bishop is attacking all these pawns. So white is trying to defend them by putting them on light squares, but at the same time, that really hinders black's bishop on the light squares.
Yep.
So
Now's the time to dance around with the knight. Yep.
breaking through
There
here.
you go.
So this move we can take. We're gonna pin
Yeah, you
that
can't
knight.
allow that.
Okay. So we take the knight now, and now we're going into the same color bishop in game, where we have the better bishop, right?
Yep. I mean, yeah, like the white bishop. Like, well, now it's you're the only one that can really create any problems. And right, isn't it the people that control the breaks? I was gonna say, there's your break.
There it is.
That's
So
the color that controls the breaks is the one that's usually on the offensive, playing for the win.
yeah, and notice this isn't winning material for white. It's simply trading, but this trade really creates the winning opportunity for white in the long run. This pawn is a goner. It's very weak. King steps
And,
up.
yep.
Notice we don't take. Do you see what happens if we take right away?
Take and then what? Then the other king gets. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you create your
Discovery.
own pawn.
Although
Yeah,
this is still completely winning for white, but I love the
patience.
yeah, look at how white corrals the pawn. No rush. First, yeah, black being desperate here pushes to
But
create a
now the
pass pawn.
three connected passers. Good night. Is all I
Yeah,
gotta
this game
say.
ends right here. Black had seen enough and
Yeah,
resigned,
I've seen
so
enough. That's a win.
yeah, really nice in-game technique here from white to convert this seemingly even position. If we go back to the queen trade right here, right?
Yeah,
So creating a lot of chances for the bishops, and eventually converting that superior pawn structure into a pass pawn and a bunch of pass pawns. So really nice, and that's the final game of the stream. Again, this is for ambassadors that won the game review from last semester. Um, Chaco asking to share a game. Unfortunately, that wasn't this isn't open for anyone. This is
everyone.
earned from these ambassadors through like one of the prizes that we offered. So if you want to check out, you go to chess.com/ambassador, or is it ambassadors?
Ambassador. I'm pretty sure there's no S. Pretty sure there's no S.
Well, anyways, no, you don't have to be sorry. And Brody's asking if we can get badges on chess.com. We've been asking for those actually, and I wanted them for CCL players too. Uh,
Actually, there's I don't know, we're not gonna spill too many beans, but there's definitely some improvements coming to the badges system on chess.com. So I think, yeah, if Joe and I might revisit that and see if we can sneak in and get a badge for ambassadors.
or CCL players or both. I
CCL
mean,
players for sure that I think there should be on. That'd be awesome.
I think we got to add some school logos as badges. That'd be dope.
Yeah, but that now you're getting the legality.
Yeah, it'd be tough, but yeah, I mean, speaking of schools and their logos and all of that, like the CCL broadcast coming back starting next weekend, first week of CCL. We're gonna have some very exciting new teams joining us. I'm really excited. Perhaps some new names in the top division. Last season, we had 8 really strong teams, of course. I think maybe the top 6 could be the same. Maybe not. I think we're gonna have some really strong teams joining us. So definitely stay tuned for that. Maybe some European teams as well, which is exciting because D1 last season was all U.S. But we're gonna have some international representation. And if you're not in D1, if you're in a lower division, like most of us are, really hope to see some exciting new teams there. And of course, we're gonna have some uh, same faces from last season tuning back in. Of course, some perennial teams, as you might call them.
Yeah, I mean, and you were saying that registration it ends on January 14th in 2 days?
Yeah, end of Sunday. So Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, right?
Yep.
So enjoy the 3 day weekend, everyone. But we're gonna be going through those registrations and trying to announce the new season early so that you guys can prepare for your first week of matches. And if any questions at all, definitely reach out to me on Discord. Um, and yeah, I think that's kind of it for now. And if you guys want to see someone on the podcast, definitely reach out. Let us know. Give us some guest ideas. I think we had a really exciting lineup last season, and hoping to have some even more exciting people joining again this season. So season 3 is underway,
Yes,
Max.
sir. Let us know. Yeah, seriously, let us know if there's some people you want to see as guests. We're always happy for suggestions. But yeah, register for your teams for CCL January 14th.
All right, stick around for the raid. Thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate it. And good luck registering and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Joe.